use the restroom, reach up and pull that red cord. Get my attention, but do remain seated. As soon as we get through this turbulence, our beverage service, landing in Rome, or Paris, or Berlin. Our next stop is Europe. We call these sets Little Europe because they can look like many of the cities in Europe simply by changing the language on the street signs and the buildings. This was Rome for Ron Howard's Angels and Demons starring Tom Hanks. Port Royale and parts of Tortuga for Disney's Pirates of the Caribbean 1, 2, and 3 with Johnny Depp. Right now, Little Europe is dressed as the afterlife for The Good Place starring Ted Danson and Kristen Bell. Little Europe is also where we invented the monster movie with classics like Frankenstein, Dracula, the Wolfman, and the Mummy. In a few moments, we're going to drive past the sets at Base Camp for Home and Family coming up on the left. I'm going to have to go off the microphone for a bit, but I'll pick up with you at stage 50.
Glasses.
I know, right?
Where's your juggle?
It's okay, it's just a tremor. This is Southern California, we get them all the time. It's nothing to be alarmed. All right, that's starting to feel like a bit more than a tremor. I think it's the big one, folks. The ceiling's caving in on the left. I feel like a vodka martini, shake it, don't stir. Hold on, everybody, hold on. Hey, it fixed my back. Oh, it's out again. It's a train and the tracks are blocked. Oh no. Now, remember what I said about those blue seats? Here's what it looked like on film. An episode of Bones.
What's going on?
All right, from one natural disaster to another of sorts, we're heading into Amity Island now. This lovely little tourist town was once terrorized by a man-eating great white shark. Locals had a name for it, Jaws. As you can see, the shark has been caught. There's a diver on the scene right now doing a final sweep of the harbor.
Oh, that's a shark. Look, get it. Get it. Shark.
Oh, that's gotta hurt. He was named after director Steven Spielberg's lawyer, and as you can see, he's the only shark around that swims backwards, which is pretty impressive. Bruce the shark just as much of a terror off-screen as he was on. In fact, on the first day of filming Jaws, Bruce sank to the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean, prompting the cast and crew to nickname the production Flaws.
That's a much maligned shark. The shark was frustrating. It didn't really work all the time. It didn't work hardly at all.
Wherever you were on the island, you would hear the radio waves. They were always saying, the shark is not working. The shark is not working.
We just waited around. We just waited and waited and waited.
The shark worked well enough for a while there. So I really owe the shark a lot.
Now coming up on your left is Elm Street. It's where Jason Bateman and Charlize Theron lived in Hancock, directed by Peter Berg, where Eric Bana lived in Hulk, directed by Ang Lee. Back over here on your right, Miss Mona's Chicken Ranch, built in 1982 for the best little whorehouse in Texas, starring Burt Reynolds and Dolly Parton. Chicken Ranch is a practical set, which means we can shoot inside and outside. The way it works, the walls inside come apart and move around like that of a dollhouse, making room for our cameras and equipment. We go back over to the right, so parking to the left, ladies and gentlemen. We're turning down Colonial Street, otherwise known as Wisteria Lane for ABC's Desperate Housewives. This beige house on the left is where Gabby lived, Eva Longoria. Right next door is 1313 Mockingbird Lane. That's the original Munster sort of golden house here on the left. And Susan's next door neighbor was Lynette, Emmy Award-winning actress Felicity Huffman. If you like Felicity Huffman's work, check out Aaron Sorkin's first show, Sports Night. It's fantastic. And she's fantastic in it. Got nominated for a Golden Globe for that one. And of course won an Emmy for Desperate Housewives. Very talented actress. They all are. All right, after that.
If there is one thing everyone in suburbia can appreciate, it's a good neighbor.
What the heck? Let's do that.
Now this pale greenhouse over here on the left is where Tom Hanks lived in the movie The Burbs. This street has been home to more stars than Beverly Hills over the years. Like Gabby's house is actually the original house from Harvey, starring Jimmy Stewart. Recently shot on the street the feature film Why Him with Bryan Cranston, as well as music videos, commercials. Back over here on the left is Greenhouse 1312. That's the house from Matlock, starring Andy Griffith. Right next door is the House of the Seven Gables, based on Nathaniel Hawthorne's classic tale about, hey, wow, check out that car. I think Dominic Toretto moved to the neighborhood. But it's a very realistic style neighborhood, ladies and gentlemen. Now, sometimes we get the call to do something a little bit more avant-garde, and that's what faced Ron Howard and his production team when they built the Whoville sets on Dr. Seuss and the Grinch Stole Christmas.
One of the biggest creative challenges that we faced on How the Grinch Stole Christmas was to bring the storybook world of Dr. Seuss to life. Some of the most talented artists in Hollywood worked for months to create a living, breathing Whoville. When it was all done, they had built an entire city. And the fantasy world of Dr. Seuss became a reality.
Coming up, just some of the sets we used to shoot Dr. Seuss and the Grinch Stole Christmas. Welcome to Whoville.
It's the Grinch. You really are a wheel. You're as cuddly as a cactus, and as charming as an eel, mystically.
9 football fields. But the people of Whoville had more than just the Grinch to contend with, because they lived right next door to Norman Bates. These are two of the most famous sets in Hollywood, the Bates Motel and the Psycho House from Hitchcock's Psycho. Creeping characters, I think that's him. You guys, that's Norman Bates. I worked here 6 years, I've never seen him. Holy homicide. Well, maybe he's just helping that woman check out. Oh, she's checked out, all right. Uh-oh. Now he's checking us out. I think we better hit the road. Now, the Psycho House looks a little bit small. It's because the 3/4 scale. It was built that way so Norman there would look bigger and more menacing when he stood in the doorway.
He's still eyeballing us.
Just beyond the Psycho House, one of the most impressive sets ever created, the spectacular crash site from Steven Spielberg's War of the Worlds, starring Tom Cruise and Dakota Fanning. We're headed right into the heart of it. This is all that's left of the neighborhood Tom Cruise hides out in during the film. That's a real plane, by the way. A real 747, destroyed just for this scene.
The airplane crash site set is a perfect example of a set that is all designed around the vision that Steven had.
And so, again, to sit down to talk about War of the World, I thought, what if the 747 goes down right in a big neighborhood? Because it's just something you don't see.
You're doing good. You're doing good. Keep pressing me. Listen now. Listen, I want you to close your eyes, okay? Okay. Now I'm closed. Robbie, get in. Get in.
This cabin is its view, because behind it lies Falls Lake, the largest freestanding backdrop in Hollywood. Now, you may think you've never been here before, but trust me, you have. You just don't recognize it. For those of you mermaid secrets, shot right up there. Falls Lake is also where Tom Hanks evacuated an airplane on the Hudson River in Clint Eastwood's Sully. Evacuate. Falls Lake is a series of pools with different levels of depth. We put the shell of this aircraft out there, raised the water level up, add some actors and stunt personnel. And the New York skyline in the background was actually put in post-production. It's computer-generated imagery, or CGI, which is why the backdrop is painted that bright blue for the CGI guys. As There's only one thing left to do, ladies and gentlemen. Now we want to immerse you into a movie. We're all going to become characters in The Fast and the Furious.
Studio tour. Looks like we might have an issue. I'm patching you into Agent Novak from the FBI.
Look, this might be more serious than I thought. What just happened? This is a secure line. Who are you?
I'll tell you who I am, boy. I'm the reason bad guys use a nightlight. I'm the reason the boogeyman begs his mama to look under his bed. And I'm the reason you just lost control of this. The crime syndicate led by Owen Shaw is honing in on this vehicle to take that witness out. Shaw's as ruthless as they come, and he'll stop at nothing to eliminate his target. Every living soul on this vehicle is in serious danger.
All right, folks, heard the man. We don't want Owen Shaw on our tail.
My name is Roman Pierce. Pleased to meet you. My buddy Hobbs asked us to stash you from Shaw for a while. So we brought you in our secret spot.
All right, look, guys, we're gonna keep Shaw from finding you, but to keep you safe, we need your help. We don't want the syndicate tracking us here. So put away your cameras